how Morgan Housel explains the art of long-term thinking. In a world where quick fixes and short-term gains often dominate, there's one person who has mastered the art of long-term thinking: Morgan Housel. Let me tell you this. Have you ever found yourself caught up in the daily whirlwind of news, market fluctuations, and personal ambitions? It's easy to get swept away by the noise, but what if I told you there was a way to navigate these storms with greater clarity and success? Here's something you should know. Morgan Housel, a renowned financial writer and investor, has dedicated his career to explaining the principles of long-term thinking, and it's a skill that can transform your life. Let me tell you this. Imagine you're at a crossroads facing decisions that seem daunting. You could jump into action based on immediate reactions, or you could take a step back and consider the broader picture. That's exactly what Morgan Housel advocates. He explains that long-term thinking requires us to look beyond our immediate horizons and understand how different factors interconnect over time. But here's the catch. It demands patience, discipline, and the ability to remain calm even when things aren't going according to plan. Morgan Housel uses vivid examples from his own experiences to illustrate this point. One of his favorite stories involves a young investment firm he once worked with. They were presented with a project that promised quick returns, but it required them to make significant sacrifices in terms of resources and time. Instead of jumping on the bandwagon, they decided to take a long-term view. As they invested more deeply, they discovered hidden value that eventually led to substantial profits. You might be wondering, wasn't that risky? Yes, it was. But the long-term thinking enabled them to see past the short-term volatility and identify the true potential. But let's talk about why long-term thinking matters so much. Here's something you should know. In the business world, companies that focus on short-term profits often end up sacrificing their long-term health. Think about it. How many startups or small businesses have fizzled out because they couldn't sustain themselves during tough times? Conversely, those that prioritize long-term growth tend to weather economic storms better. They invest in research and development, customer relationships, and strategic planning, all of which pay off over time. It's like planting a tree today that will bear fruit years down the line. Now let me share a personal anecdote. A few years ago, I was working on a major project at work. Initially, I wanted to rush through it to meet deadlines, but then I remembered Morgan Housel's advice. I took my time, ensured every detail was perfect, and even though the project took longer than anticipated, the results were outstanding. The clients were thrilled, and I learned that sometimes the difference between good and great comes down to a commitment to excellence and a willingness to embrace the long view. So how do we cultivate this mindset? Here's something you should know. Morgan Housel suggests starting with small changes. For instance, instead of reacting impulsively to a news headline, take a moment to reflect on its implications. Or, instead of making impulsive purchases, wait a day or two to see if the desire still stands. Over time, these habits can become second nature, helping you develop a more measured approach to decision-making. Moreover, embracing long-term thinking doesn't mean ignoring the present. In fact, it's all about balancing the two. By focusing on the long term, you gain a clearer perspective on what truly matters. You learn to appreciate the nuances of situations and make choices that align with your values and goals. It's about prioritizing sustainability and resilience over fleeting gratification. And let me tell you this, the benefits extend far beyond just business. In personal life, long-term thinking can help you make wiser decisions about relationships, investments in education, and even health. Imagine, for example, investing in a relationship that promises to last a lifetime rather than one that may falter under stress. Or consider the impact of saving for retirement rather than living paycheck to paycheck. These are decisions that require patience and foresight, but the rewards are immeasurable. So how can we apply these lessons in our lives? Here's a simple exercise. Write down 3 things you want to achieve in the next 5 years. Now, think about what actions you need to take today to make those dreams a reality. It's not about setting unrealistic goals, but rather about creating a roadmap that allows you to move forward steadily. Remember, progress isn't linear. It's often full of ups and downs. But the important thing is to keep moving forward, always looking ahead to the horizon. In conclusion, the art of long-term thinking is a powerful tool that can transform both your professional and personal life. By learning to see beyond the immediate, you open yourself up to new opportunities and possibilities. Morgan Housel's insights offer a beacon of clarity in a world filled with distractions. So, the next time you find yourself tempted to act impulsively, remember the wisdom of long-term thinking. It's not just a strategy, it's a philosophy that can guide you towards a richer, more fulfilling life. Here's something you should know. The journey may be challenging, but the destination is worth it.